And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to Ring the Bell Live. My name is Joey Mayberry. I'm your dad bod demigod, and I know so many of you are excited to see me back. And joining me this week to talk about Raw and SmackDown's women's division, we have from those wrestling girls, Miss Krista B is in the house.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I am recovering. It's Juneteenth. It's hot outside. So I'm here. I'm good.
Yes, happy Juneteenth. I love your shirt.
Yes, thank you. My Pride Apparel. Got it from there. Thank you so much.
Love it. And then also joining us this week is Theo Ivory.
Hello, so happy to be here. You see the Union Jack? See that? Look at that there. See the connection. We're already connecting. I love it.
I feel like I'm just going to start slipping into a British accent during the entire show now.
It's natural. Just let it be. Let it be. Just happen. Let it happen.
All right. I definitely will. I'm rocking my Spice Girls t-shirt, so let's go ahead and do this gig. Shea Purser is supposed to join us. If we don't see him, we don't see him because you know what? It is time to talk about this women's wrestling action because this week, the internet broke, y'all. The story that has been on everyone's lips is Piper Niven, aka an unknown girl, debuted alongside Eva Marie to squash Naomi, giving Eva Marie the win. And you listen to that statement and you already know, okay, the internet's going to erupt. And it did. People were not pleased with what happened with Piper and Naomi. But it was nice to see Piper debut on the brand, in my opinion. I'm very excited to see her. The only thing that gets me, is why are y'all acting like we don't know who she is? She is on your roster page. She's been on multiple shows. She's been signed for 3 years, and they said this is a mysterious woman. I have no idea how to handle that. Krista, what did you think of Piper's debut? Or I guess Eva's debut, really.
Okay, so as we all know, every Eva slander that's been on those wrestling girls page has come from me. And I'm not saying she's not good or she doesn't have the potential to be good, but you're bringing back the same storyline that you had before you left. Like the first time, it was enjoyable. You know, you want to be the prima donna, you want to be the diva, you want to do whatever. Cool, no problem.
Right.
But don't rehash it when the women are elevated into something completely different now, and it's like you're taking it for a joke. And I have no problems with Piper being on the main roster. She's an amazing wrestler. I've seen clips of her. She's really, really dope. But don't bury her with this storyline with Eva, like she's going to be fighting all of Eva's battles and Eva's going to take the credit because you did these whole slew of vignettes for the coming weeks. Oh, it's an evolution. It's this, that, and the third. And you came back and did the exact same thing I said you were going to do, which was nothing.
Oh, I agree with that. I wouldn't say that I think that she's going to be buried just because we haven't got to see exactly what they're going to do. But they really didn't give her any momentum out the gate because you just had her walk out with Eva Marie. You didn't have Eva give an explanation. And then this girl comes out and takes down a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion in less than a minute and a half. So it didn't seem like it really did anything to build up anybody. Theo, what do you think about this whole contest debacle?
I want to say the big winner out of all of this was Piper because the internet was talking about her more than anyone else. So that's really good. The thing that really bothers me is and I even quoted this on Twitter, who's this young lady? Like, that really bothers me because you don't want to insult the fans. And then better yet, you don't want to make yourself look stupid. So
they do it a lot.
It bothered me that they didn't acknowledge her. Like, I think it would have been even more impactful for them to be like, "Holy crap! Is that Piper Niven from NXT UK?"
Yeah.
Like, that would have made much more sense. And then somebody had to do the job. Naomi's the only one that's not in a storyline, so unfortunately it had to be her. But I think it makes Naomi look better in defeat to lose to someone from NXT UK versus losing to someone where everyone's like, "Who's this girl? Who is she?" Like,
exactly,
like a real unknown person.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, can you imagine how the scenario, to your point, would have went if the commentary just would have been like, "Oh my God, is that Piper Niven?" Like, that's all they would have had to say is like, "What's she doing here?" But no, you've got her coming down in these very strange JoJo Siwa buns that she was rocking to the ring.
I loved it. I thought it was so cute because it was such a up top, she looks like super playful and like so cute and cuddly. Mm-hmm. And then she gets in the ring and it's like, oh crap, she's a bulldozer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I wonder though how they decide exactly who from NXT they remember and who they don't, because the commentary seems to sometimes watch NXT and know exactly who somebody is. But then someone else comes from the brand, they're just like, who's this person? We saw it happen with Dominik Dijakovic and Dio Madden for Retribution. And on that note, if you had to put somebody out at random to get squashed this week, it could have been Mia Yim.
Like, where's Nia at this point?
Nobody knows.
On SmackDown.
I wouldn't mind seeing her on SmackDown. They definitely need some more women on that roster. No lie at all. So the big question here is, do you guys see this becoming a successful storyline? Krista, that eye roll kind of says it all, but what you think?
For me, the only way it can become real successful is if they write Piper having her backbone. You know, like, because right now it's like, oh, look, I did it. I won. And then when she went to hug Eva was just like real mean girl, catty high school. Like, it's like you have the popular girl acquiring the school, the school nerd, or like the unso popular girl. And then once she gets to a certain place, she's just going to drop her like a bad habit. And I feel like for this to be successful is like a rally up for Piper to be like, I won these matches. My name's in the books. We're going to change that. Like, her hat, not even have a heel turn, but just have a backbone to stand on.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. But watching WWE programming, I just look at it and go, are they actually going to make that storyline happen? Or are they going to try to stretch it out until we don't even want to see it anymore, which they have a huge reputation of doing? Theo, do you think this is going to be a successful storyline?
I do.
Okay.
Because whether we like her or not, Eva is polarizing. That's the word they love to use, polarizing. Doesn't matter what she does, she gets a response. People are going to be talking about her. And one thing we notice about WWE is they don't care if it's good or bad, long as you're talking about them.
True.
I kind of see them trying to fix a storyline that they didn't really follow through before. Remember when Dana broke away from Charlotte and Dana got like that huge pop? It was like the biggest reaction she had ever gotten. Like, the fans were on her side.
Mm-hmm.
But they never followed through with it. There was never a one-on-one match with them. It was just like they both kind of went their own separate ways. So my hope is that they do the same thing with this storyline, especially with, by the time that happens, we'll have fans in attendance. It'll be a live crowd. And the fans are just going to be so tired of Eva and her shenanigans. And Piper is probably going to squash her like a bug. And Piper's then going to begin like her own singles run. And she's going to be like a very popular babyface at that point.
That's if they write it that way.
That's a big if.
Big if, because you never know.
We know how the writers and creatives go in WWE.
I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee on that one.
You definitely need to. But we don't have any super chats just yet. But let's go ahead and jump into the full review of this week, because honestly, we've got a lot to talk about from Monday Night Raw. There was a lot of women's action, and a perfect bouncing off point. You talked about dropping storylines. That's how Raw kicked off. Apparently, the internet backlash has seemingly made Lily and Alexa Bliss obsolete, because we opened up Raw with Alexa Bliss cutting a promo saying that she saw all the bad things people said about Lily. Lily's now going to be in timeout and we won't be seeing her anymore. Then Nia Jax stepped up, challenged her for a match later on in the night. But the real story is, why did they just drop Lily? Was it because of the negativity? Thea, what do you think?
Okay, I feel like I'm going to be the minority here. It's funny to say that on Juneteenth. But I absolutely loved the ending of Raw last week with Shayna and Lily. I loved it. It was different. It worked with Shayna's character. She wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so scared. It was like, whoa. Like she kicked the mirror and stuff. So I actually really liked the ending of last week's Raw. I thought it was different. It was unique. And it worked. It allowed Shayna to show something a little different. Why they dropped it, I don't know. Like Krista said, when it comes to creative, we never know why anything gets picked up or dropped. I am a little disappointed because I'm not a fan in particular of the storyline, the whole thing, but I really enjoyed the interactions with Lily. I thought it was a little creepy. The design of the doll is creepy as hell. And it was just something different. And I like that every week you got to play with different things. Like Lily would be talking to her, and then sometimes Lily pops up in places. So I thought it was really cool. Maybe I think she is playing with us.
Yeah.
Like a fake out, like, oh, Lily's going away, and then boom, Lily's gonna pop up at Hell in a Cell. That's really what I think is gonna happen.
I think.
Go ahead, Krista.
Okay, I think for me, Lily being put on timeout, I think they're trying to psych people out for a while, and then Lily comes back as a real person.
Right.
Like instead
we are getting Shayna and Bliss on Sunday at Hell in a Cell, so maybe that will factor.
So Lily comes back as an actual person now. It was like, I've been this for so long now. This is really me, and and it could be in the form of a Nikki Cross or whoever, because now Alexa Bliss is over here hypnotizing people, as we saw when she did with what's his name?
Reginald. We'll talk about that. That's a whole other thing.
Maybe they can do some type of storyline to where it works, to where Lily comes back to where Lily comes back as an actual person instead of a doll to still torment. Just like we thought they were going to do with Sister Abigail.
Fingers crossed for Paige.
Ooh.
I
don't hate that.
I don't think it'll be Paige, because if Lily decides she wants to start to fight, Paige can't wrestle.
Because Lily would be like a Mei Yi. Is that her name? Like a Mei Yi from Tian Sha. Like she just sits there and she's just the presence. And Paige can work. She just can't take a bump.
Right. She can't wrestle. But if they want to write it to where she wrestles, we're going to have to think of something else.
Right.
She can hypnotize someone and make them wrestle for her.
Maybe that's where we could go.
Obvious. That makes too much sense.
It makes too much sense, especially for WWE.
Well,
you said that right, girl. I'm trying to get signed.
Aren't we all? Aren't we?
You gotta be honest these days. Your honesty will take you further than anything else. Okay.
Well, Speaking of storylines and trying to get signed and getting opportunities, let's talk about the opening match to Monday Night Raw, which was Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Cross. Okay, y'all. This storyline is all over the place. This reminds me of going into WrestleMania, the build up to Sasha and Bianca, where it was just kind of like, y'all can't just make them fight. You got to have Reginald interject over here. You got to have them kind of be best friends. You got to have them be nice to each other. This reads that energy so hardcore, where it's like, I just want to see these two women fight. That's it. Let them cut a promo. Let them hate each other. Do something, because what we saw was Charlotte Flair versus Nikki. Rhea Ripley was at ringside, and Charlotte got so wrapped up in Rhea Ripley being there that she gets herself counted out. Charlotte gets mad. She attacks Nikki Cross, and then Rhea gives her the riptide to close the segment. This just doesn't really hype me up for Hell in a Cell. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm still, like, again, that Bianca Sasha thing, I'm riding it going, okay, this is going to be a good match, but that's really all I got. Like, I don't even think it's going to rival the Bianca Sasha match itself. There's no way I think that could possibly happen, but it's just that build up. It seems so formulaic. Krista, how did you feel about watching Nikki Cross go up against Charlotte?
I'm actually tired of this storyline.
Same.
I'm actually tired of seeing Charlotte beg, bitch, moan, whine, complain about not having a spot, not this, not that. I feel like it's given, and as Rhea is Rhea champion? Yeah, she's champion.
Oh yeah, Rhea's champion.
And it's pigeonholing her. Like we already seen Rhea Charlotte. We saw it at WrestleMania. We've seen it countless times. Let somebody else take on Rhea. Nikki Cross is an amazing wrestler. Even from her days in NXT, then her being two-time women's tag team champion. Like, let Nikki Cross, and we haven't seen Nikki Cross in a long time before these 2-minute matches, these squash matches that they've been having. It's like a bad love triangle.
And also, who is this Nikki Cross? This is not the Nikki Cross that we love.
They changed her music. Like, I love the original music she had when the cameras would go crazy and you. Like, I love that. Like, even when they changed her
music slaps. It slaps a little bit.
I mean, yeah, but
wait. Hold on. Did you just say Nikki Cross's new music slaps?
A little bit. It's like it's low-key slapation.
You are the sole human I have heard say that yet. You are a unicorn, diamond in the rough.
Slapation. It's not. It doesn't fit Nikki Cross, but it slaps. It's like, oh,
okay, I respect that.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just feel like Nikki Cross doesn't have to go all the way back to where she was in NXT, but she's the only one we've seen come back. Everybody else was.
Also had Shay arrive.
Hey guys, sorry for being late. Someone got hit by my train and it made me half an hour late.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know if they're okay, but I'm here. So, hi.
Hey.
Hi. As long as you're okay,
I'm okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
If it fits the theme of the room right now, we're just going to blame we're all creative. So,
yeah, cool. Okay. Terrible decision from creative. I wouldn't have had anyone hit by a train.
Yeah. So, Shay, just to catch you up real quick, Krista was just speaking. We're talking about the Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley feud and the match that happened with Charlotte Flair and Nikki Cross on Monday.
Yeah, I really like. I think I told you this. I don't watch much main segment WWE, so it was really nice to kind of see what's been going on for the past couple of years, and it just made me really sad to watch that match. To be honest, it was like, oh, I haven't watched Nikki Cross in so long. Last time I saw her, she was an independent wrestler, and then I went, oh no.
Right.
I was like, oh no. I was like, what happened?
The world will never know. We were just asking. We were like, this is not the Nikki Cross that we fell in love with.
Exactly. Like, I loved her when she was with when she was in NXT and she was like the only one and crazy hair and all of that or whatever. I love the fact that she was playing that character. And then even when she teamed up with Alexa Bliss, she was good. She was doing her thing. So for her to be gone for some time because, due to COVID and stuff like that, everybody has a quarantine or whatever. And then for her to be back, and then make her storyline as if people are taking her for a joke.
Right.
Oh, yeah. I can beat her in 2 minutes. I can beat her in 2 minutes. Why are we going back to matches?
I got it. I found it.
What you got?
They stripped her of everything that made her unique.
Yeah. They really did bland her down.
Like she was always, like she doesn't even really do that anymore. Like she was like a firecracker, like a loose cannon. And now she's like,
they've made her very vanilla, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know if vanilla is the word. It's like a very confusing vanilla because her personality's been sucked dry like the WWE vampire. And legitimately, she still comes out and does her like shaking on the ropes kind of taunt. She jumps around, but she's doing it to knock off Mickie James music. And I don't really know what that means.
Yeah, I completely agreed.
But for the sake of time, let's go ahead and move on and talk about the women's tag team division picture because we did get a little backstage promo between Guns N' Roses, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke, and Natalya and Tamina, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, where basically there was a photo shoot happening. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose were being themselves. Natty and Tamina come up, and Natty full-on Karen and said, "Can you turn it down?" And they got into a backstage brawl. It ended up with them challenging for the tag team championships at some possible future date. I'm sure we'll get some sort of explanation. And they'll be like, oh, 3 weeks ago, they had this promo. Now we're having a match. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about you guys.
Because
what'd you say?
Can I speak on this, please? Because
yes, because you got the church hand that went up. So yes.
Finger up, yep. Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the way they set this up with, the photo shoot over here, the ring over here, them practicing. Mm-hmm. The thing that bothered me is why are they in full gear and there's no match tonight? That bothered me, number one. But the number two thing that really bothered me to my core is them saying, oh, you're just jealous because those titles look better on our waist. And I'm like, girl, the Divas era is done. Nobody cares about looks. Nobody cares about,
I do. I'm gorgeous.
But I felt like that was so regressive. And that was so corny. And you can tell that promo was written, I'm sorry, y'all, but you can tell that promo was written by a middle-aged white man who is just sitting in the office like, oh, let's write this. And I'm like, that made no sense. Like, Tamina and Natalya have never been glamour girls. They've never cared about looks. It's always been about wrestling for them. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that just made no sense. But the comebacks from Natty and Tamina, I thought were like spot on. Like if you cared about your looks as much as if you cared about your wrestling as much as you did your looks, you guys would be champions now.
Oh,
like that was great. Like period. Like done. But
I like your stance on it. I just I like the old callback to the Divas era. I think we can still have a few divas, I think, on the roster. Just as long as not everyone's a diva. I think that was the big problem with like the Divas era was just everyone was the same character, but they just had a different hair color. And that's kind of what they did to
each other. And I feel like that's where they're trying to go with this now. Because we don't have a lot of females on the roster right now because of COVID or because, Lacey Evans is pregnant, Becky Lynch gave birth. We don't know what the Bellers are doing. They might come back, they might not come back. We have no idea where Nia Yim is. We have
all the talents in NXT.
Right, all the talents in NXT. Whatever NXT, whether it's UK or the one over here. So it's just like they want to regress, go back to that Divas era because like Theo said, it's really middle-aged white men writing, trying to establish or get off on something that was there a long time ago, but that's not the mindset that we're in now.
Yeah. I had you go, bro.
Oh, you can go. I was just going to echo what you said. I think that you can very much tell it was a middle-aged white man writing these things, and I think it shows the necessity that they would need some women writing, some people of color writing, just some people to tell organic stories backstage.
I say that all the time. I say that. I was just talking to a colleague who, also works for WWE. And we were having this conversation about having more women of color, people of color in general, write for us, because who can better tell our stories than us? Who can better write for us than us? You understand? Like, nobody wants to see, like, I have a feeling we're about to go back to bra and panty matches, and I'm about to be like, I give up. I'm done.
As long as it is equality and I can be in a bra and panties match, that's all I'm asking for.
Remember when you brought up the Sasha and Bianca lead up to WrestleMania? This is how I knew it was a middle-aged white man writing that. Because remember when Sasha slapped the living daylights out of Bianca? Bianca was like, listen, if there was a black writer in that room,
they would have been fighting.
Sasha and Bianca would have tore that room
the whole thing up.
Ain't no black woman gonna let you slap her in the face and just be like,
period. Are you dumb? Oh, you must not know. This would have been up like this. Like, what are you doing? Are you dumb? No, we're not doing that.
Like Bianca did the Maurice Cherry. Like, oh my gosh, we need diversity in that room, even if it's just the opposite gender. Like, stop having men write for women. I will commend SmackDown did hire 2 black female writers recently. So hopefully we can see where it goes, because from what I'm hearing or what I've heard, they do have black people. And you can tell.
And creative and stuff. They do have black people, but if it does not fit the standard of what WWE sells or wants to sell, those stories are not going to make it.
Yeah.
I think like a big thing that I said about this was, I think this promo could have been really, really interesting. I thought this segment could have been so well done, is the way I put it, because you have 2 very different colors to paint with, is the analogy I use, of 2 like literally diva search contestants, jacked to the gills and now in the modern day, and 2 people who kind of just stand for, especially Natalya, when you think about the stuff she did with Beth Phoenix, throwback 2012.
Yes.
Like the pinup stuff was absolutely incredible. And I was like, I literally saw this happen and I went, oh, this is like new Beth Phoenix Natalya. And then the promo was, and then the entire segment, I was like, this hasn't been written by anyone under the age of 30 or interesting. I was like, because this isn't how this should go. This isn't how, I can see so many different ways this could go. And I think you gave us the worst possible outcome.
Exactly.
Right. I feel like you can tell when Paul Heyman was being accepted and creative and doing all that stuff to Bruce Pritchard. And like, is that a point to where you can tell he's just writing for a check and not writing because of the love of it? Like, I know you work your ass off. You have other great things. I'm never taking nothing from you. But you can tell. Paul Heyman literally let these women speak. He let these women bring their ideas. He got their input on things. Now with Bruce Pritchard there, it's like, oh, it's the man's world. Got to do what I say, or you won't get any TV time, or you won't get any money, or you won't get, like, you can tell the difference in writers and creatives.
100%. Well, speaking of
on the head, honey.
Yeah.
Well, for sake of time and focusing on writing and creative, the next match we got was, for some reason, Rhea Ripley and Asuka again, which, again,
it's a revolving door at this point.
They really do. You should rein it in. Just gotta keep it in.
Let me do my New York.
Well, let me just break down the match real quick, and then we'll dive into it. Let me just break it down real quick what happened, and we'll dive right into it. So what we saw was Rhea Ripley versus Asuka in probably the most solid wrestling match that we got this week as far as women go. This was a fun little match, but it also ended with the traditional Rhea Ripley gets the win. Here comes Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley brawl. There was a pull apart. Charlotte gets her nose busted open. It's not going to work the wonders that it did for Becky Lynch, but her nose busted open. And that's the go home for Hell in a Cell for the Rhea Ripley and Charlotte feud. It was a good old fashioned pull apart. Theo, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm gonna start from the beginning. I feel very bad for all the women in the Raw locker room. They busted their ass during the pandemic, risking their life, risking their safety to show up every week to put on a show in the Thunderdome, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, first of all, I love Rhea. Love her down.
She's my
little girl gonna get called up for NXT. And then not only is she going to get a title match, but she going to get a singles title match at WrestleMania? Where she hasn't done anything during the pandemic?
I mean, she did a lot in the pandemic on NXT, just wasn't on main roster.
NXT is a little different because, you don't see the same people every week. But on Raw, you have to be there every week. So, but that bothered me. And number one, for morale, I think that's terrible. Just to call someone up and say, hey, we're going to give you that spot. That's number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, it's been 2 months since WrestleMania, and her and Asuka have fought 4 times.
Jeez.
And she's beaten Asuka every time. And I think that is absolutely ridiculous because Asuka is, and a lot of people have said this in the company, Asuka is perhaps the best wrestler, male or female, in the company.
And it shows.
So to have Rhea pin her clean 4 times back to back is like WWE. I love them, but they don't know how to
package these wrestlers, especially the ones who come from overseas. They don't know how to package them. They don't know how to address their ring style. They don't know how to address how they fight. And like, they don't know. Like the whole time with the Kabuki Warriors, and they're really good. You're pulling people from Japan and China and all other places. Mm-hmm. And then you put them with a manager, the whole Asuka spitting green and stuff. Cool, whatever, that's a part of the gimmick. But you don't know how to package them according to their wrestling style.
And better yet, they don't know how to make someone look strong without making the other person look strong as well. Like Asuka can look strong in defeat, but when you have her getting beaten clean by the Riptide, which I'm sorry is no different than a freaking suplex, you're making Asuka look weak. And I'm like, you can make Asuka look strong in defeat, making Rhea look strong as well, but they don't know how to do that. They still haven't mastered that technique yet after all this time.
I mean, it is her finisher, but the thing that I think is detrimental so hardcore to what's going on with the Monday Night Raw women's division is they keep varying off in this whole defeats. Like, remember when you defeated the champion and it actually meant something? It meant that you were going towards the title and it meant that you were in that contendership picture. Asuka beat Charlotte Flair. She's beaten Rhea Ripley, and now she's just getting beat again. Nikki Cross has come in the last couple weeks. She's beaten Rhea Ripley. She's beaten Charlotte Flair. But none of these little side stories matter at all. They're just solely focusing on it's Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And that's not storytelling.
That's something we don't need. Just like we don't need another McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, but here we are.
They've been fighting for 1.5 years, y'all.
If to say something quickly, Asuka is one of my favorite wrestlers. I didn't know her prior to WWE at all as well. I was young, and then I went back and looked at her back catalog. And the one amazing thing about her that WWE do not utilize is her ability to work so many different ways. Mm-hmm. If you go and watch her matches with her final match in Japan against, I believe it's Akira Hokuto, comes out dressed as Kana Asuka and tries to wrestle as her. And it is one of the funniest matches you will ever watch. And then before that, she wrestled Meiko Satomura in a blue light match with a harp. Like, this woman can do everything She is unbelievable, and I hate the fact we aren't seeing her utilized properly. And to kind of go off what you were on about earlier, the way WWE package foreign talent is, as a foreign professional wrestler, one of the most worrying things I've ever seen in my life. From Kairi Sane being one of the most talented professional wrestlers they've had in that roster in the past 5 years to just not wanting to wrestle anymore. Like, that's what it comes down to. She was
That's
just like,
so sad.
I just don't want to wrestle anymore.
You're so passionate about something.
She lived it.
Taken away. Like, just like with Sasha. After they lost WrestleMania 35, Sasha did not want to wrestle no more. She even said when she was coming down that ramp, she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, even like, you have to still be passionate about something. And if this is something that you wanted your whole life and want to work for this company for your entire life, and you work blood, sweat, and tears, put everything you have into it, and then they just take your joy away. They literally sucked your joy out of it. Where's Sasha now? Last time I saw Sasha, she was over here grunting that Bianca was cutting a promo. Kayla Braxton tried to ask her a question, and she walked off. She ain't never been seen again.
I believe that Sasha is somewhere between the moon of Tatooine and probably
I think they're saving that rematch for SummerSlam with fans, and they're keeping Sasha off TV for that. But I'm going to tell you something really quick that you had mentioned, Krista, about Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre fighting for the 1,000th time. That's the big difference I've noticed between Raw and SmackDown. Look at SmackDown. I know this is about women, but look at the men. What happened on SmackDown? They pushed Jey Uso to the main event to challenge for the title. They had Kevin Owens. It was Jey Uso, right? One of the Usos challenged.
One of them.
They brought Jey Uso up. They brought Kevin Owens up. So they started pushing new people into the main event picture. Versus you look on Raw, it's the same people. It's been Randy Orton
the same way in the
and Bobby Lashley. Well. Exactly. They're not bringing and promoting new people up to that main level. They just been recycling the same people, and it's the same thing with the women. Like, why? I know she's released now, but why has Peyton Royce never had a one-on-one title match?
She just had a one-on-one match, and that was it. It shows a lack of caring about story.
Like, why has Naomi not had a one-on-one match? And for the title, like her and Asuka, even though they were friends, that would have been a very good babyface versus babyface match.
Right. Well, I see that they are breathing in just a little bit of fresh air with what we need to talk about next, just for the sake of time. It was the Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax match, which this, I guess, is something new, but it's a little bit of the same, but it's only new because last week Shayna Baszler got attacked by a doll, and that's, we had a whole malfunction with Kane's pyro, and that's what we did. This week, Alexa Bliss got challenged at the top of the show by Nia. Nia's, of course, got Reginald in her corner still. We saw a pretty semi-decent match with Alexa Bliss, using her speed and her creepiness to kind of take down Nia, utilized the good old weapon of choice, which is the ring post. And finally, it was a DQ because Reginald grabs Alexa's foot, and then she pulls a Ka from the Jungle Book and puts him in a trance. And that's how we ended the segment. That's literally it. And that's supposed to set up for Shayna versus Alexa on Sunday, but we got no follow-up with what happened to Shayna last week when she was in the dark with a creepy doll.
And kicking mirrors.
Yeah.
Maybe that got her 7 days bad luck until Hell in
I want to see her put Lily in a Kirifuda clutch. That would I would pop for that.
You know what? Yes.
I would pop.
I think I'm trying to be here for it, but knowing Shayna's character, she's like, I'm going to put a doll in the Kirifuda clutch.
I mean, maybe she's afraid of the doll, but you know what I'm afraid of? I'm afraid of Reginald continuing to be on my women's programming.
He's too talented. Another one who's found their waist in.
I mean, I just hope they kind of go somewhere with this storyline because it just kind of seemed like it was kind of dead in the water. Once you saw the ending of that match, Krista, how did you feel?
For some reason, some small twinge, I was here for it. I was here for the entire thing. Like, I love how Alexa Bliss is still carrying on the Fiend's work, although it's no longer the Fiend's work, and so I was here for it. I was here for the fact that Nia's trying to stand up for Shayna. It's crazy, like you standing up to your old best friend for your new best friend. And yeah, so it's just like, and Alexa is just like, girl, we were never friends. What are you talking about? And I like how she played, oh my God, I don't know what's happening to me. And I love this whole storyline with Alexa Bliss and Lily, and and now I love the fact that you see her character evolving. Like, of course she had to do something crazy. So yeah, to put Reginald in the trance to show like, yo, I'm more supernatural than you think. Like, just because Lily's not here, just because the Fiend isn't here, does not mean that I don't possess these powers for myself. You keep coming knocking on my door, you're not gonna know what to expect from me. So I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I can respect that because it's at least something different than what we've been getting for the last 4 weeks, which is Alexa with a doll on a swing set.
On the swing, exactly.
Yeah. Shay, what did you think of the ending of this segment?
So, like, this was the weirdest one for me to watch as someone who hasn't watched WWE programming in years. Like last I watched Alexa Bliss was like in NXT. Like, obviously I've caught her at Mania and stuff like that, but like that was when I was watching frequently. She was with like Buddy and it was great. And I didn't know what a Reginald was. And I got very confused. And then I realized, like, because the one thing people love to tell me about WWE is no matter, like, the one thing about the product, you can tune in and pick up exactly where you left off. No, I fucking couldn't. I had no idea. I had to Google what a Reginald was. And it gave me a very confusing write-up. But I didn't mind it. Like, if that's what they do with Alexa Bliss now, it's a vibe. I don't mind it. Like, okay, I'm down. It's something different. But I don't know why Reginald was there. That was I don't like that guy. He seems nice enough, but maybe get him out in the women's division. like you guys said.
Reginald is just like WWE's joint. They're just passing him around the body. That's it. That's all he really is.
Yeah. He's like a Leo Rush in a sense. When Leo was like with Bobby Lashley, and then that's where those are the vibes he's giving me for WWE. He's Leo Rush.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, that I know the kind of role you're on about. Actually, yeah, that's very spot on. That's very spot on. Yeah.
And Theo, any thoughts about the Alexa Nia match?
I actually want to credit the producer of that match because it was very smartly wrestled. It made sense. Like, I hated their singles matches. What year was that? 2018 when Nia won the title and stuff like that.
Oh, those are some of my favorite matches. I got that gift saved.
I hated it.
Screaming at each other.
Because it didn't make sense. Like, with the size difference, it just didn't make sense for them to wrestle a 10-minute match. It made no sense. But whoever produced this match, everything was like on point. From her going for the knee, like, straight away, like, that made sense. Continue to attack the knee, dirty tactics, everything made sense. So I really enjoyed the match.
Dirty Tactics is a good band name.
The stuff after, this is the one thing that I think people forget that WWE does, and they kind of do it really well, is they do slow burns. And they don't give everything away right away. So I think this was the whole thing with Reginald, like the whole trance thing or something. I think that's going to play a big role in Sunday's match at Hell in a Cell. So I think they probably gave us like a little taste of it. And then it's going to play a big role on Sunday. But again, they do slow burns. Like, they don't give us a lot at one time. Which can be frustrating because you're like, what the hell? Like, what is happening here? I'm intrigued to see what happens Sunday. And I guess that was the point, to build intrigue and to build interest and to make you want to see what's going to happen next.
True.
I hope so. But speaking of slow burns, let's go ahead and transition to SmackDown because
the A show.
The A show. I mean, no, that's NXT. This is B. But So this week on SmackDown, I didn't think we were going to get much women's action just because there was a Hell in a Cell match on SmackDown. But we did get the final build-up with Bianca and Bayley. Now, if you guys have, Shay, I know you haven't watched much of the product in the last few weeks, but I know both of you guys have. With Bayley and Bianca's feud, we saw the promo where Bayley started laughing and she popped up all across the arena. And then before
that, by the way.
That was good. But then before the match they originally had, it was, them getting into a brawl and Bayley hitting Bianca with the rose plant, standing tall, looking crazy. So what they did for the go home for Hell in a Cell was they took both of those promos, smashed them together, and we got Bayley laughing across the arena and then ambushing Bianca and giving her the rose plant and standing tall crazy. And you know what? I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. I'm really excited for this match, mostly because this is officially going to be the Hell in a Cell match we get from the women's division. And oh my God, I couldn't ask for two better competitors going into a Hell in a Cell. Bianca and Bayley, I think they're going to put on a show on Sunday. I think so too,
but I think Miss Boss Sasha Banks will interfere somewhere.
Ooh, I'm down for that. I'm 100%.
A triple threat somewhere down the line, maybe for SummerSlam, because Sasha and Bayley are not their besties like they used to be, and everybody's just going after what Bianca has, which is the SmackDown Women's Championship. So Sasha may or may not, or may do something to where it's a build for her to come back and take what's hers.
Triple threat of Sasha, Bayley, and Bianca is a marquee SummerSlam match. That's right. Yeah, that just speaks volumes. Theo, any thoughts on the segment for going home for Hell in a Cell with Bianca and Bayley?
I love it. I loved it. I had tweeted a few weeks ago that I don't feel like champions should wrestle every week. I feel like champions should really only wrestle on pay-per-views, which is their title defense, because
the Roman Reigns method.
Exactly. Which is, I'm glad they're doing it with Reigns. They've been doing it a lot with Bianca too. I think she's only wrestled twice on TV, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is really smart because you preserve a lot of matchups. So when they do happen for the title, it's fresh. It's something you've never seen before. I honestly think Rhea and Charlotte should have been in Hell in a Cell. It's just simply because I feel like there's way more of a story there.
I do not.
No, I'm just saying. Because when they say a Hell in a Cell match, that's the final straw, it's got to be in Hell in a Cell. I just think Rhea and Charlotte have more of a story, more of a history. But I am never going to complain about two women of color being in the Hell in a Cell, child. I'm never going to complain about that. And I already know they're going to put on a hell of a match.
For lack of a better word.
They're going to put on a hell of a match. And I thought the build-up has been very unique. The whole laughing thing, I know the internet didn't really like it. I loved it because
same
here. Have the whole arena laughing.
It brings part of the story out.
Crazy. And to have someone laugh at you as a wrestler, that's really offensive. And you bitch, ain't nothing funny. I will be on ain't nothing funny. You want. So I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited. They're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. I honestly think at this point they're gonna have the match of the night, especially since Roman's not wrestling. I think they're gonna have the match of the night, and they better be the main event because McIntyre.
I was gonna ask, are they the main event?
I don't know. I feel like they might have to be. I don't know who else is in a cell during this pay-per-view. I haven't really paid attention to the men's division.
It's just McIntyre and Drew, I think. And they've already wrestled so many times.
All right. Well, I'm bored of hearing about Drew McIntyre. So, Shay, what did you think of this segment?
So, I have very specific opinions on Bianca Belair, and she is literally, if I created a female wrestler, if you asked me to create my ideal wrestler, it would be her, from moveset like, she's incredible. She's incredible. Like, she can do like, I remember the first time I watched her in a 4-way in NXT, and she did Super Dragon's finish, and I lost my shit. I lost my mind. I don't know.
Yeah, don't know what happened.
We lost Joey.
Joey, how we lose the host?
No, yeah. So I just keep talking about how much I can talk about how much I love Bianca Belair for 10 minutes. That's fine. I do like paragraphs on it a day. Yeah, Bianca Belair is actually like this. So she does the Super Dragon finish. And I'm like, okay, incredible. And then I watched like maybe her in a Rumble, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. I was like, I like what they're doing with you on main roster as well. He's back. There we go.
I have no idea what just happened. I'm so sorry, guys.
It's okay.
Well, I just ran by.
We lose the host.
Right.
Yeah. And
my
then
phone just said "fuck you." That was it.
And then my final thing was like, so I just said I watched her in the 4-way NXT takeover, does Super Dragon's finish, and I lose my mind. Then I see her in the Rumble, and she does something incredible, and I lose my mind. And then WrestleMania comes round, and I'm like, okay, she's very new. It's a WrestleMania big match. Let's see what the fuck happens. And she actually had one of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Not only because I thought, like, I actually went, oh, this is going to hit the standard that I expected to. It didn't. It smashed it. Like, it actually, the moment she did the gorilla press on the steps, I was like, you are the best wrestler of all. You're the best wrestler of all time.
I was like, literally watching her match. I swear to you, I texted her right after she won. I mean, she texted me like a day or so later because she was celebrating.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just like, girl, you are a beast.
The stalling suplex.
Yes.
In the middle of a WrestleMania match, 15 minutes in. I can't do that 5 minutes in.
Yep.
It's incredible. And that is the reason I love Bianca Belair so much. And that's actually the reason I want to see her in the cell. Because I think we're going to see something insane, and I don't know what. I can't predict it. I cannot predict it. And that's what I like.
One thing before we have to transition over into taking some fan questions. I predict Bayley will tie Bianca's hair to the top of the sail, and we will see her dangling.
Oh, that's sick.
I don't think that will happen, but I do think that Bayley would try to do something with Bianca's braid to kind of, make it seem like she won't use her hair as a weapon. The dangling from the top of the ceiling.
I could see, like, what if they like lever pulley systemed her, so like they pulled it through a bit and then pulled on it and then she went. I could see something like that.
Well, it would be smart for her to tie her braid to the cell and like just wail on her with the kendo stick. Like that would be a good spot.
That's a WWE spot right there.
Do you know what I've been waiting for someone to do? Tie her hair in the ropes and Irish whip her so she gets pulled back on it. I think that's such a like, because all she has to do is take her own bump as well, so it's really safe. Like, I think that's
really
safe.
I'm just like,
I know.
I'm not gonna go about the rest.
Really quick, guys. So with the WrestleMania match between those two, I literally cried for the next 2 days. Like, I was in the airport the next day flying back home, and I was just talking about it, and I like could not stop. Like, ugly tears. Ugly tears. And then the second thing is, I think it's absolutely amazing how the SmackDown Women's Championship has completely eclipsed the Raw Women's Championship in terms of like prestige and all of that. And I think when Becky won the belt the second time from Charlotte at Hell in a Cell, like the SmackDown Women's Championship from that point just it got elevated to a level I don't think any of us could have imagined. So I just want to credit all the women who have made that belt mean so much, and just the writers of SmackDown, because the Raw Women's title was supposed to be the marquee women's title, but boom, look at SmackDown again.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, awesome. Let's go ahead and see what some of the people are saying to us. Miss Shalance Royale has popped into our comment section, says, love women's wrestling being covered. Love you all. Keep this up. As a worker, I truly appreciate this always. We stand Shalance on this channel. She's one of my favorite people. If you don't know about her, Google is free. So please utilize
I did a
that.
show with her. I think it was WSU. She is incredible.
Also, if you guys haven't seen her promo, she does a little cover of Ultra Luminary from the Netflix movie Over the Moon, and hits those high notes, and y'all.
Oh, that is
the Jillian Hall of the and then the handspring elbow pop.
But also,
yeah.
Like, I stand a set of pipes. I love it because it's not
So
just
good.
Jillian
And she's
Hall.
such a
It's good
sweetheart.
Jillian Hall.
Such a sweetheart.
All right. I am searching for a few more comments because, unfortunately, as you guys saw, I crashed in the middle of this, so I think I have lost a few super chats. But let me see what I can find. Didn't mean to click that one. But
like
mixed partial farts was actually a really good comment to click on, just because thank you for that screen
everything
name.
in his name.
Oh, well, my system just told me to go and screw myself. So while I get this fixed, let's go ahead and put a wrap on this episode of Ring the Bell Live. You guys, if I missed any of your super chats, it is completely all my technical error, and I will make that up to you guys. We will go ahead and figure that out. I did just see one that popped in from Shanty B. Thank you for the pound. We appreciate it. Hashtag pound it. Let's see. Miss Krista B, where can people find you across social media?
Oh, I'm everywhere, y'all. Of course, you can find me under Those Wrestling Girls on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also our TikTok, and please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Also, you can find me, Miss_Krista B_ on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well, but I don't really worry about Facebook. But definitely you can find me on Instagram and Twitter as Miss_Krista B_.
Awesome. And Theo Ivory, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at THEE_Theo Ivory.
That made me smile because you did it Moxie Molly style, and that made me very happy. And Shay, where can people find you?
Best place to find me is Twitch. I'm there near enough every single day. I recently got to make it my full-time living, which is fucking incredible.
Yes,
thank you again to Twitch for that. I love you all. I'll kiss you when I meet you. And then the other places to find me are literally everything is the same at, which is SPPURSER, SP Purser. I'm nearly at 1,000 followers on Twitch, so if you could drop me a follow there, that'd be great. I'll be going live in about an hour with an LGBTQ wrestling watch along with my graphic designer, which is really nice. And oh shit, Joey, I've got you on this on Monday. Actually, a little plug for that. I'm doing something called Celebrate to Educate, which is a week of LGBTQ themed sport kind of content, and it's just celebrating how fucking great the LGBTQ are in sport because they really don't get recognized in it. And I'm starting that with a 12-hour wrestling watch along where I'm having various guests on. There's literally no set time for anyone though, so just turn up and guess when people are going to be there and hope the one you want to see is there. I've organized times before, no one ever sticks to them, so we're going with that.
I'm going to show up from 6:05 p.m. Eastern time to 6:06 p.m. And if you'd like to follow me, you can do so by stalking me in an alley. No, I'm kidding. You can follow me at Twitter and Instagram, Joey_Mayberry. TikTok, Joey.Mayberry. Check out Golden Era podcast each and every Friday alongside Jake Smith. Check out me every Saturday. I'm back here on Ring the Bell Live. And if you're in Las Vegas next weekend, June 26th, you can catch me in a strap match where I'm going to whoop Tommy Purr's ass. So hopefully see you there. And everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Ring the Bell Live. If you enjoyed it, please click that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, because if you're a women's wrestling fan, we bring you all of it. So please hit that subscribe button and do the name of the channel, ring the bell, so you're notified anytime that we post new content. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here on this panel with me. This has been an excellent episode. All right, and we will see you guys. Yeah, of course. See you guys next week. Okay, bye. I was about to hit the wrong button and just take myself out of the stream. I'm gonna click the right button. Oh, maybe we might be going along, you guys. I'm trying to end it.
It's okay. I can just.